G'day, my name's Tom and this is Lucy, and we're riding our motorbike from my hometown of Perth, Western Australia,
all the way to my hometown of London, England.
In our previous episode, we entered China, explored Yunnan province, and climbed up onto the roof of the world, the Tibetan Plateau.
The moment that we crossed this border, the sun came out, the clouds opened up, and finally,
we can see the Himalayas. Life is good.
This was a huge turning point. It's gone from deserts in Australia, jungles in Southeast Asia, to snowy mountain passes. This is where we start to climb up and up into some of the highest roads on Earth.
This is the route that we've taken through China to reach Tibet, and now we are on the road to the capital city of Lhasa. 4 long days of riding away. Our first impression of Tibet are these incredible panoramas of the Himalayas as we move through rural areas, farms, and small towns with traditional architecture. And we are climbing ever higher in altitude. We conquered our first 5,000 meter pass and realized that the carburetor on the bike will need to be adjusted. It was struggling with the low oxygen, and so are we. It really does feel like a new country, but you just can't miss these billboards everywhere, reminding you that this is technically still China.
Queue just goes on for as far as you can see. Here's all the bikers at the front. Hello. Hello. No, thank you. No, thank you. Of course.
Tibet is heavily militarized, and roadblocks were almost a daily occurrence for us. Sometimes for many hours. But motorcycle privilege means skipping to the front of the queue, and we met a lot of really nice Chinese bikers.
Well, we got here 2.5 hours ago, and basically it's a military stop or something, and the guy told us it's going to be about 2 or 3 hours, so literally just like out here, it's actually really hot, and like nobody's got any water or anything, no shade.
We didn't actually plan this at all, but we've sort of stumbled across a kind of pilgrimage for Chinese bikers and realised that we're in for actually a pretty cool ride. We're the only Westerners here, and due to the government's restrictions on what motorcycles people can own here, it seems everybody has modern newer bikes. You'll see these adventure scooter type things next to a showroom conditioned BMW GS.
Seems like something's happening, everyone's gearing up.
So seeing a Westerner here on a DR650 with duct tape and zip ties hanging off it looks like a relic from the past, and everybody wants to ride with us.
There's gonna be like 50 bikes riding together.
This road is called the G318, and it is like a legendary road in China, and people come from all across the country to ride on. A lot of the time it is sort of these tight little tracks with trucks on them, and it can be absolute chaos. But for the most part, it's actually like really stunning. It's something I highly recommend doing if you ever come here.
Food in rural Tibet is heavily based on yak meat and yak dairy. This was our first introduction to yak butter tea, and it's very salty, rich, and fatty. But we really came to love it, and we drank it every day we were in Tibet. It also stops your lips from cracking in the harsh cold and sun.
Cheers.
Boomerang.
stop.
Well, in Tibet, you can't fill your bike up at the Bowser. You have to fill up this little tin can and then fill your bike up. Don't know why. I just spilled it all over the floor. Such a stupid system.
And your foot.
We actually did learn from somebody, I'm not sure how true this is, but apparently the reason that you have to fill up from the watering can instead of from the Bowser is because people were taking fuel and setting themselves on fire in protest.
I thought it might be chicken.
After a few days in the countryside, we made it to the capital city of Lhasa. Alright, so let's take a quick look at Tibetan history and Lhasa's significance. So this is Tibet, and this is Lhasa, where we are now. For centuries, Tibet existed in relative isolation in the high Himalayas, functioning as an independent society with Lhasa as its spiritual heart and the seat of the Dalai Lama.
Tibet was occupied by Maoist China in the 1950s, culminating in the exile of the Dalai Lama and ongoing restrictions on Tibetan culture and religion. Since then, Tibetans remain fiercely proud and dedicated to preserving their identity, traditions, and beliefs.
This is a group of monks gathering to practice something that's been a part of Tibetan Buddhist culture for centuries. The art of debate. It's a way of learning and sharpening the mind. They just do it a little differently.
So these debates are taking place one-on-one and all at the same time in a large courtyard which is open to the public. The seated monks are seeking to defend a point, usually on a philosophical or religious topic, and the standing monks are challenging them. The hand slapping is just for emphasis. You might remember that we blew a fork seal on the dirt roads of Yunnan province.
It's coming from our fork seals.
We had to zip tie some rags onto it to stop the oil from leaking onto the disc brake. So getting this fixed was a priority in Lhasa, and luckily we found a mechanic with the correct fork seals and oil. And Peregrine was also due for a full service.
This mechanic was great. He was happy to work on the bike together, and we managed to get the carburetor sorted to deal with the altitude.
The Potala Palace dominates the skyline of Lhasa and served for centuries as the home of the Dalai Lamas, as well as the political and religious heart of Tibet. It contains a vast network of rooms and countless cultural treasures, but it's not permitted to film inside, so you'll just have to take our word for it. Fun fact, this iconic white paint is technically edible. It's made of milk, honey, and lime.
These are devout pilgrims, prostrating as they complete a circuit around the palace. Incredibly, some of them have travelled in this manner all the way from their hometowns to Lhasa, a grueling physical feat that can take up to 9 months. Before we had learnt this, the first time we saw somebody doing this was hundreds of kilometres away from anything, and it can be quite concerning seeing somebody laying flat on their face on the side of the road. Lhasa has been a great place to stop and recharge, but it's also become a crossroads for us, and we are faced with a very difficult decision.
Our original plan was simple: to explore far west Tibet before crossing into Nepal. Then we would spend some time in North India and eventually enter Pakistan. But everything changed when a terrorist attack in Kashmir rocked the already bad diplomatic relationship between India and Pakistan, and the one remaining land border between the two countries was closed indefinitely.
We realised that this event has a far more reaching and tragic consequence than just an inconvenience to us. But for the purpose of this video, this is how it's changed the reality for us on the ground. Once we leave China and enter India, there's no onward route. Pakistan is the link between India and Central Asia. The only way out would be to go back through China again, or shipping the bike from Mumbai to Oman, and both options are expensive and time-consuming. So things just got complicated, and the tour agency needs us to make a decision on what to do today.
Do we push into Nepal and just hope that the border reopens but take the risk of getting stuck? Or do we change our itinerary to take a different exit out of China and miss Nepal and India entirely? Navigating around this takes some time, so we'll need to cut this episode here.
I will say though, there are some challenges ahead, but it takes us to some amazing places we never thought we'd see. Tune in for Tibet Part 2, and as always, if you made it this far, we love you and we'll see you in the next one.